So do you also use Zendesk and Gravity Forms for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly Connect, and in this video we are going to understand how to create Zendesk user on Gravity Forms submission. So with here I'm running a business and we use Gravity Forms to collect the details of our potential clients who are interested in our services. So now what I want is that as soon as we receive the details of our potential clients with the help of Gravity Forms, automatically with the help of these same details, a new user should be created in my Zendesk account too. That too without any manual efforts. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Gravity Forms and Zendesk. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So do you also want to create this automation for your business? Then for that you have to come with me towards my screen.
Welcome to my screen. So today I'll guide you through automating the process of creating a Zendesk user whenever a submission is received via Gravity Form. This integration streamlines customer support by adding users to your Zendesk account automatically, ensuring faster response time. So let's get started. So to do this, I've simply opened the landing page of Pabbly by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy, and as soon as we're going to open the landing page of Pabbly, we're going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you're a new user, you can click on this sign up for free and you're going to get 100 of tasks free every month to explore the application. But over here, I'm an existing user, so I'm just going to click on this sign in. And as soon as we're going to click on this sign in, it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here, you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications, which is Gravity Forms and Zendesk. So I'm just going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And now it is opening my dashboard. And to start with this automation, we just have to click on this button which says Create Workflow. And now it is asking me for the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So with here I want to save the workflow in this folder which is automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to create Zendesk user on Gravity Forms submission. Gravity Forms to Zendesk, and then we just have to click on this create. And as soon as we're going to click on this create, it is opening the most important window of our automation, which is our workflow window. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. So trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow will run. All right, trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the actions are response towards the commands given by our trigger, and that's the particular reason that we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of a trigger in a particular workflow. And to start with our automation, we have to select our trigger application. So for my trigger application, I'm just going to select it as Gravity Forms. So I'm just going to search for Gravity Forms over here, and then we just have to select this. And now it is asking me for the trigger event. So basically trigger event is the event on which the workflow will start. So here what I want is that as soon as a new response is received, my workflow should be triggered or started. And as soon as we're going to select the trigger event, it is giving me a webhook URL. So we're going to use this same webhook URL in order to create a connection between our Gravity Forms and our Pabbly Connects workflow. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to copy this webhook URL and then we have to follow this help text. All right. So I'm just going to copy this webhook URL, and now it is saying go to your form settings and click on the webhooks tab and then click on add new button there. All right, we're going to follow the same. I'm just going to open my Gravity Forms account, and as you know that Gravity Forms is a plugin of WordPress. All right, so over here you can see that over here are all the forms which I've already created using Gravity Forms, but I want to create this automation for this form which is request form. So I'm just going to open the form for which I want to create this automation. You also first have to open the form for which you want to create this automation, and then from here we have to go towards the settings and then form settings. And after coming over here towards the form settings, we have to go towards the left side of the bar and look for webhooks and go towards this webhooks section. And now we have to click on this add new button over here, and now it is asking me for the webhook name. So let's see that I'm just going to keep it as new user right over here. And after keeping it as new user, for the request URL, we are just going to paste the URL which we copied from our workflow. For the request method, we have to keep it as post. For the format, we have have to keep it as JSON over here. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for this request headers. So if you wish, you can definitely add request headers right over here, but I don't wish to do so. So I'm just going to move on forward and click on this save settings button. And as soon as we're going to click on this save settings button, yes, you can see that we have successfully added our webbook URL right over here, which is named new user. So now with this, we have successfully created a connection between our Gravity Forms and our Pabbly Connects workflow. But now it is saying waiting for webbook response, and in the notes it is saying do a test submission / record. So in order to capture this webbook response, we have to do a test submission or record. So what we have to do is we just have to open our Gravity Forms once again, and we have to go towards the preview of this form. In order to do the test submission, we are just going to fill in this form as this. Let's say for the first name, I'm just going to keep it as test, last name as user. You can see that for the email, let's say that we're just going to keep it as testuser565@pabblytudes.com. Once again, for the confirm email, I'm just going to select the same email, which is testuser565@pabblytudes.com. You can see that I've entered my address. Over here, you can see the city, the state, and the zip code entered. And now I'm just going to click on this save. And yes, you can see thank you for testing our form. This means that we have successfully submitted this form. And now with this, Gravity Forms has sent the details of a test submission to our workflow. And yes, over here you can see that Pabbly has captured the response for the same. You can see the first name which we entered, you can see the last name which we entered, you can see the email address which we entered, and over here you can also see the rest of the details which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our trigger step, and now what will happen is that as soon as a new response is received from my Gravity Forms, automatically this workflow is going to get triggered and Pabbly is going to capture the response for the same. Alright, so further what I want is I want to create Zendesk user on Gravity Forms submission. So for my action application, I'm just going to select it as Zendesk. So I'm just going to search for Zendesk over here, and as you can see the same, so we're just going to select it. And now it is asking me for the action event. So for my action event, I'm just going to select it as create user and click on this connect. And now it is asking me to add a new connection or select an existing connection. So if you have already connected your Zendesk account with your Pabbly Connect workflow, you can click on this select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection, and now it is asking me for the Zendesk username, API token, and the subdomain. So to get all of this, we have to follow the help text, and it is saying enter your email address as the username and add the suffix as /token. Alright, so over here first we're going to enter the username, and to add the username we have to enter the email address, alright, with the help of which we have used our Zendesk account, or we have created our Zendesk account. So I'm just going to go towards my profile and go towards this view profile button right over here to look for my username. So as you can see that this is the email address with the help of which I've created this Zendesk account. So I'm just going to copy this email address and paste it right over here. And after pasting this email address, we have to add a suffix which is /token. Alright, so now after entering the username, we're going to move on towards the API token, and to get this API token, it is saying go to Admin Center, Apps and Integrations, API, and then Zendesk API. Alright, we're going to follow the same. I'm just going to open my Zendesk account from the left side of the bar. I'm just going to go towards this settings. Alright, and now we have to go towards this Admin Center. And after coming over here towards the admin center, we're going to look for the API. And to look for the API, we have to go towards the left side of the bar right from here and go towards this apps and integrations, scroll and look for APIs and then Zendesk API. And over here you can see the API token already created. But I'm just going to create a new. For that, I'm just going to click on this add API token. I'm just going to give it a description. Let's say I'm just going to keep it as new user. And yes, over here you can see that this is my API token. So I'm just going to copy this API token and then click on this save. And yes, you can see that we have successfully created this. So now I'm just going to paste that same API token right over here in my workflow. And now it is asking me for the subdomain. And to get this subdomain, we have to look in the URL of our Zendesk account. So I'm just going to open the Zendesk account, and over here you can see that this is my URL. I'm just going to go towards my dashboard of the Zendesk account, and over here you can see that this is the URL and this is my subdomain, which is after HTTP https and before .zendesk.com. For me it is this, so I'm just going to copy it right from here and then we're going to paste it right over here in our workflow. Alright, so as soon as we're going to paste this subdomain with this, we have successfully added all the details. So yes, you can also get all of these details exactly the same way I did. Alright, so now after entering all of these details, we just have to click on this save. And as soon as we're going to click on this save, yes, you can see that we have successfully connected our Zendesk account with our Pabbly Connect's workflow. And now it is asking me for the name, email and many other details. So yes, we're just going to enter the details one by one and create a new user in our Zendesk account with the same details received from our Gravity forms. Alright, so as you can see that this is the name, this is the email and another details received. So we're just going to enter the same details right over here in our Zendesk account, but we are not going to enter the details manually or by copy pasting it, but instead we're going to map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected Gravity Forms as our trigger application. So we're just going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only, and as soon as we're going to map these details automatically, my details will turn dynamic and change with every new response received. So over here I'm just going to map the name. For that I'm just going to look for first name and map it, put a space, and then we're going to map the last name too. So over here you can see the last name, so we're going to map it. Now we're just going to map the email too. Right over here I'm just going to look for email and map it. Now after mapping this required details, we're going to move on forward. You can see that now it is asking me for many other details, so all of these details are not the required details, so I'm just going to leave it as blank. If you wish, you can definitely fill out these two. For the role, I'm just going to select it as end user only. For the organization, I'm just going to switch on this mapping button and erase this right from here because this is not the required field, so we can leave it as blank. So I'm just going to switch on this mapping button and leave this as blank. Now after entering all of the details which are required, I'm just going to click on this save and send test request. If you wish, you can definitely fill out the not required details too. And yes, you can see that as soon as we're going to click on this save and send test request, yes, you can see that we have received a positive response that we have successfully created a new user with the same email and this name. So I'm just going to open my Zendesk account and check for the new user created. So I'm just going to go towards my Zendesk account. From the left side of the bar, we have to go towards this users section, and we're going to refresh this customers page in order to check that if a new user with the name test user has been created or not. And as soon as we're going to refresh this, yes, you can see a new customer or you can see a new user has been created. You can see name test user and the same email address which we entered. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, but I'll just test this workflow once, and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So I'm just going to open my form once again and do another test submission with the new details. Alright, so let's say this time for the first name I'm just going to keep it as demo, last name as user. You can see the email address right over here. I'm just going to enter the confirm email address too. Over here you can see the address, and I'm just going to click on this submit. And as soon as we're going to do so, now Gravity Forms has sent the details of a test submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further created a new user in our Zendesk account. So I'm just going to open my Zendesk account and refresh this users page in order to check for the new user created. And as soon as we're going to refresh this page, yes, you can see a new user has been created. You can see the same name and the exactly same email address which we entered. So yes, you can see that within seconds in real time, a new user has been added into my Zendesk account upon the Gravity Forms submission. So yes, with this we have successfully completed our workflow, and we have also tested it in real time, and it is running perfectly fine. So now we don't have to come back again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. This workflow is going to run in backend, and on every new Gravity Form response, a new user would be created in my Zendesk account. So yes, this was it for the video, and if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone this workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching.
So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate many more applications. So if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.